welcome back to Fun, 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 a podcast where we take fun very seriously. As always, your Chuckle King Dan here presiding over the fun that we're about to have on this podcast called Fun, Fun, Fun. Have I said fun enough? Hopefully I have. I have Nathan here with me. Nathan, hello.
Oh, hello, Daniel. Near, far, wherever you are.
We can't get the rights for this. Stop. We can't get the rights. We're going to get demonetized immediately. You think we have Celine Dion money over here?
Cruise ship.
We don't have Celine money.
It's cruise ship week. Ooh, ooh. Iceberg, dead ahead.
Jeez, my gosh.
That's all I know about
do you only know about one boat? Is that the only ship you know about?
Pretty much. The Titanic? Yeah, I was a child of the 90s. That was our boat.
Sure. I watched the Titanic 2 days before I got on this sailing with our guests. So that was a real wise choice. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But our guest today is a true treasure that was with me on the treasure. That's right. What's up, guys? We've got Jake here from Bright Sun Films to talk about sailing the high seas and then getting the deathly flu.
Not the first time in history. No.
Jake,
you did the historical tour. That's what you did.
Right.
Yeah. How's it going, everybody?
We're going great. We're doing great, man. How's it doing up there in the Great White North?
It's cold. It's snowy. It's our typical mid-February Canadian day.
Right. A great departure from the well, actually, no. It was also cold and snowy on our treasure sailing. Yeah. It was not
definitely jacket
hot
weather.
Sailing. Yeah, it was jacket weather. So we were on the treasure, and I know that you're making an episode of Bright Sun Travels about the treasure. You had a groundbreaking episode about the Wish back when the Wish set sail. And I kind of wanted to, groundbreaking. Everyone kind of, it was like the first review of the boat that was like, oh, this is a flawed boat that isn't, and I know that everyone gets so damn pissed off when you call a cruise ship a boat, but I don't know what you want me to say, guys. I grew up on a river where everyone had a boat. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a ship. You're supposed to call it a ship. Don't call it a boat. I've heard like horror stories of people getting fired on cruise lines because they called it a boat and not a ship. So
here's the thing. I get the difference between a bus and a car, but a boat, a ship is just a bigger boat.
I guess.
What a weird comparison, Nathan. What do you mean? One's a little thing and one's a large thing. It's the
but they don't
thing.
even look. They don't even look the same. They're not even. They have. It's not even the same. If you took a boat and you just let Wayne Selinsky blow it up, it would just be a cruise ship. That's what a boat is.
I guess, but no, but yes, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
they both float, so
this is true. This is true. Just like a car and a bus both drive.
That's right.
So I guess with that toddler logic, anything's possible. Jake, I have to, your Wish video was interesting because the Wish, versus like other Disney cruise ships and other cruise ships in general broke like so many rules when it came to like the design of a boat. Yeah. Like in particular, just like accessibility. Like any cruise ship I've ever been on has just rings on every floor on the outside that you could just get anywhere on the boat just by walking out a door and making a loop. You know what I mean? But the Wish very much broke that sort of tradition, and everything sort of became dead ends and like weird, weird corridors that went to nowhere, and just like lots of bizarre design flaws that I think you really pulled out and highlighted in the Wish in a way that no one else was talking about, So yeah, groundbreaking Wish review.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What did the Wish ultimately get on Jake's rating scale?
I believe it got a 34 out of 50, I want to say.
Oh, okay. Like out of 50. Okay.
Maybe it was a little bit lower.
Not great. Not great, though. Not bad, but not great. Not great. So I have to ask, going into the treasure, what were your expectations? Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Well, I knew the treasure was basically going to be the exact same thing because cruise ships are built in bulk, essentially, just like manufacturing in America. It's things
just
are
like
ordered.
Cars and buses, if you will.
That's right.
The boats of the road.
They were always going to be sharing common parts and sharing the same layout. So everything was structurally going to be exactly the same. So
right.
I wasn't really going in with super high expectations. I think the overlays that they did on board were a lot better than the Wish. I think the general theme was mostly pretty good. But it's still the Wish. It still has those fundamental problems from accessibility from the stuff that
it's
took
really
away.
the Triton class ship, I guess, is what we're talking about. It's the Triton. The Triton has fundamental weird things, but I think that it's ultimately attacking a different goal than any of the other previous ships have.
That is true.
I don't think they want you like out roaming they want you inside. They want you like at their bars and at their trivias and at their events. There really isn't a lot of like go hang out on all the many decks like on the outside. It's kind of this weird energy that the boat has, and I'm really interested to see how Disney handles something like the Adventure. But we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, that's
so I know what you mean. Going into the Wish is like going into the Treasure. It's like, well, it's just a clone of the Wish. It's not going to be any different. But yet I felt like I had a very different experience on the Treasure than the Wish.
You gave it a very high review, if I'm remembering correctly from your tweets.
Yeah. I really did. It was kind of this interesting feeling I had on the Treasure. And I don't know if it's because I had 7 days versus like 3 days. I don't know if it's because of the theming was more inherently like cohesive. I don't know. And also, I don't know if it's just because the Treasure was a boat that they finished building and the Wish was a boat that still isn't being built.
That can help. Yeah.
But like there was just something so charming and like lovely about the Treasure that the Wish just didn't give me. I don't even really know. I'm still trying to put my finger on it, and I'm not sure what it is, other than it's just a boat curated for me, a theme park fan. I guess it's just
true. It's curated for a theme park fan, and I mean I think the venues were fantastic. I think Haunted Mansion was great. I heard someone describe it as like a new generation of a tiki bar, which I thought was really interesting because it's like a highly themed space that
for sure. And I think it definitely is more successful than the Star Wars bar. The Star Wars bar felt so like I don't even like it felt like a hospital room. You know what I mean?
It's hard to explain. It didn't feel good.
No, it didn't feel good at all.
Is that probably because you have a comparison to an actual Star Wars bar and an actual theme park, opposed to Haunted Mansion having no comparison?
Well, separate from that, I have an actual Star Wars bar and an actual Star Wars movie where they're playing jizz and everyone's having a good time. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, when I got on the Wish,
great time with the jizz session. We all agree.
When I got on the Wish, there was no jizz playing. There was no jizz anywhere.
You asked. You said, "Where's the jizz?"
I was like, "Where is the jizz on this boat?" And everyone's like, "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about."
He almost got kicked off.
Yeah.
So I had to order the $5,000 Star Wars drink, go to George Lucas's ranch, be like, "George, can you please make a cameo that says that you in fact called the music in the cantina jizz, a variation of jazz, but in space, so that the people on the ship know what I'm talking about." Yeah, the big boat. Yeah, it's weird. It's Star Wars. The Star Wars bar was not good, and also the Princess and the Frog area on the Wish, not a vibe. And, the bubbles, like even the Scat Cat Lounge was better than I don't know what it is. It just felt like the Wish is so infantile and like childish versus like the Treasure, which felt more adult in a lot of ways.
Which is so annoying though, because it's a $1 billion ship, which is largely going to stay the same forever. So I mean, if they screwed up something, you would think it would be nice for them to screw up something that's maybe $200 million, not $1 billion ship that's going to exist for the next 30 years. It's just annoying.
Right. Well, I mean, hey, they went about $500 million on that Star Wars cruise that went to nowhere. So
Disney's used to calling losses.
Could you imagine them being like, "Okay, the Wish was not a success, so we're turning it into Imagineering offices. We don't know what else to do."
It's amazing what blue sky you can come up with in international waters.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to kind of go through the boat and really get your idea of like what the Treasure's failures were to start, because and we'll get on the good stuff later, but like where do you think where did the Treasure let you down the most?
I think the Treasure, like the Wish, from a Disney Cruise Line fan going into it, was still missing a lot of the same venues and features and complimentary items that were found on those older ships. Because Dan, you did the Dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You did the Dream. You've never done the Fantasy.
No. And
that's the only classic
doing the
ship
Magic
you've been
later
on
this
that.
year. Yeah, I'm going to do the Magic later this year because it's in Florida for a hot minute. So I'm going to do a little Halloween Magic.
Yeah, I think the just like the Wish, I was going into it hoping that there would be a lot of the same fundamental features that were on those ships that were carried over, and there weren't. And I think it's just worse from an adult consumer perspective, and it's just something that I think you're not getting your full money's worth like you are in the old other ships.
Yeah, there is a sort of, especially with the Wish, and I didn't necessarily feel it as much with the Treasure, but the Triton class ships 100% do have the family leaning, like the young family leaning. Although the Treasure, I felt really escaped that in a lot of its entertainment, but we can talk about that. But between like Frozen, things like Frozen, things like the Marvel dining, it felt very like shoehorned into some really childish stuff, for sure. And I definitely get that. But what can you give us a specific about something that the Dream or Fantasy offers that the Wish or Treasure doesn't?
Okay, so let's specifically talk about adult areas then. We could talk all day about the adults sun deck being like way smaller on the Triton class. But even the entertainment in the evenings, Dan, you remember Club Club Sarabe?
Yeah, Club Sarabe. Yeah.
the hottest club on board.
The hottest club on the boat. Yeah.
It was super
with an adult hour, like an adult like happy hour at the end of the night from 11 to 12, which was the saddest hour on the entire boat, because you just had all like the 6 single people that are like somehow are third wheeled onto this boat, like gathering into this area, trying to make generous. 6 is generous, yeah. Trying to make this one dude, God bless him, this one dude was at every single Sarabi nighttime, just trying to get a kiss or something. You know what I mean? He was really hitting the floor, and it was not working out for him. God bless him. God bless him. No, he did not. Okay, so you have the Sarabi. How is that different than the Dream?
Well, the club that's on board is essentially just the family flex space on the Treasure, right? But on the older ships, they actually had an entire venue that was for adults as a nightclub and general purpose area for
It's like a chrysalis bar, right? It's like the butterfly chrysalis
that's on the Dream
bar thing. Right. Yeah. Is it the same on like the Fantasy? Is it
on the Fantasy?
They have different.
On the Fantasy, it's themed after the London Tube, I think.
The London, what a departure.
I know, yeah.
Furthest separate things, London Tube and butterflies. Yeah, and also it should be said that on the Dream, that butterfly bar stays open till 2 a.m. Yeah. Like it has like an adult nightlife that the Triton class ships it absolutely does not have. Like 12:01 happens and it's like the Christmas Carol, like all the spirits and ghosts and children disappear from the streets, and it's just like there's just nothing going on. Nothing
it's a ghost town.
Is going on, and like I'm really disappointed by that, because this boat in particular feels like like a childless millennial Disney adult boat. It's a $5,000 sailing for 2 people for 7 nights. You know what I mean? And the main atrium is Jasmine and Aladdin, making out on their carpet. Like it's like this romantic sort of like boat, and yet we're still catering to the 13-year-olds in the Edge Club or whatever, and the whole boat shuts down at 11.
Well,
it's just such a
even our sailing too, we didn't have as many kids as I'm sure like a March break cruise would have, right? Because we were on one of the first cruises, and
I would say that there's probably like 12 weeks out of the 52 weeks that there will be kids on the Treasure, because otherwise you can't take your kids out of a week of school. You know what I mean? When they're in the middle of midterms or their PS their state test or whatever it is. Like it's a dedicated vacation to do that.
But that's the problem when the ships are designed so heavily around younger children. The rest of the spaces that are for adults pack up really fast, and they're almost really fast at that point.
Yeah. Like the adult deck in the back of the boat on the Treasure, there was not a moment when every seat wasn't taken. The adult coffee bar was entirely packed.
Yeah.
The pools were packed. Like, it's kind of bananas. And the only time you could really enjoy those spaces is like when dinner and a show is going on, or we're in a port day and everyone's off the boat, trying to do something
You basically have to miss something else in order to enjoy those spaces.
Right. And it expands even further into like things like the Rainforest room, where you have a boat packed full of adults who are looking to relax. And you have a Rainforest room that, I mean, like the thing sold out like before we even took off, out of port, because the boat was just nothing but adults looking to relax. It was kind of wild.
And it was really expensive.
It was so expensive. Well, I mean, and you have to imagine that's like, because it's 7 days.
Can you explain what the Rainforest room is?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a spa. It's like it's like a Korean day spa, in that it's full of like hot rooms, moist rooms, different kinds of showers.
I don't think they call them moist rooms, Dan.
They're definitely called moist rooms. That's what they are. They're moist rooms. There's a dry room and there's a moist room. And then I think on the Dream, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, Jake. On the Dream, I think the front is the kids area, right?
It's the teens area. Yeah.
It's the teens area, but they changed it around to make it more aesthetically pleasing for helicopter shots. And they turned the front like little peak of the boat into the Rainforest room outdoor area, which is sunken. It has 2 hot tubs and a lot of really nice, like, relaxing, like,
but
places
you can't
to
you
vibe.
have to pay to get into the Rainforest room.
The Rainforest room is like a special like day pass sort of thing. Like a gym, but while the gym is open, and the Rainforest room, to me, as like a Viking-sized obese man, is worth its weight in gold, because I'm not pooping, peeing, or showering in the closet that's in my room, on the boat, because it's like the rooms are like this. I can't even turn around in the shower.
You just gotta stick your butt out of a porthole. That's all you can do.
Well, not with the Rainforest room, because they've got like 5 like full-size gym shower stalls that are like handicap accessible. They have their own moist room in the locker room, and they have their own bathroom. It's great.
How long till you can get a lightning lane for it?
Well, the lightning lane costs $380, and you get it the first day. So it was expensive. It was
really expensive.
But it was 7 days. When you do a 3 or 4 day cruise and you do the Rainforest room, it's like $180.
Oh, so you're paying like for 7 days of access.
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually they sell day passes, or like 2 or 3 day passes, but not on the Treasure. They know right away that they don't need to sell, limited day passes. They are just going to fully sell out.
Adults have nothing else to do. Yeah.
Right. Adults have nothing else to do. Absolutely. So,
well, also, if you want a hot tub on board, there's only one option publicly, which is
adults
on the adult deck, and the only other option if you want a hot tub is at the Rainforest room.
Right. But the crazy thing about the Triton class Rainforest room is that because the front boat area is sunken down in, and that is the Rainforest room, the upper, like a floor above, is the walking deck. So you become a bizarre, like I felt like an otter, like a sea otter, like laying there, like, just like, playing around with my phone, and people are just standing there watching me, like people will like watch you, like relax. It's such a weird setup.
It's the spa exhibit.
It is. It's the spa exhibit. Although that's what I guess you get from hiring a woman who has never been on a cruise ship to design the Triton class cruise ships, which is a true story. So
who was this woman? May I ask?
Do you know her name?
Jake, not off the top of my head. She was one of the creative portfolio executives.
And she's like, I've never been on a boat, but I'm going to design this one, and it's going to be great. And it's not
smart.
It's not. It is, and it's fine, but it has some flaws. It definitely has some flaws.
Definitely.
Yeah. No ocean views in Rainforest Room as well. Unlike the Dream and Fantasy.
Yes, the Dream and the Fantasy have like they take the hot tubs, and you have like this private deck that looks out to the ocean that's on the side. No one can observe you other than the officers, because it is like right below the officers, but the officers aren't. They're not perverts. They're not looking. They got to keep an eye out for icebergs in the Caribbean. So, because the Caribbean's full of icebergs. So
yeah, they got to keep an eye. They're busy.
But from the hours of 12 a.m. to 8 a.m., nothing. There's nothing.
No.
There's nothing to do. Nothing to do. And I guess a lot of people were like, but that's not a problem. My Disney vacations, I'm exhausted. The boats are different. The boats are different. You don't have to walk 170 miles a day. You know what I mean? To get to dinner, it's just 3 minutes down the hall. You know what I mean? It's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah. It's wild. So Jake, what about the treasure got you the most twisted? Like, what got you the most, like, this is the biggest failure?
There was nothing, I mean, particularly wrong with. I don't even think the treasure or the wish really are bad ships. I think they're fine premium family ships. I think they serve their purpose for what Disney was trying to do. Where I get the most upset is when you spend so much time on the existing ships and they have this such unique style, and in my eyes they're almost perfectly designed, and then when you go to the new ones, it's just like a completely different atmosphere. So I mean, that's really where I'm just so jaded on it. It's hard for me to accept that this is the new direction of Disney Cruise Line. It's sad for me. It's just I don't know.
Well, there is sort of like a certain kind of charm with the old boats in that it is like the vintage White Star or White Glove sailing kind of energy, and
which is so unique now.
Truly unique, and you really feel like you're sailing with Mickey and the gang. Like, you really feel like Mickey's the captain, and like the rest of the gang are, like, you know, taking care of the boat. Like, you feel like you're out sailing with, but the Triton class ships kind of like remove all of that.
They're not classy.
No, they're spectacle. They're spectacle based instead of elegance based. And not to say that there isn't elegance in the spectacle, but the spectacle is the forefront. You know, like, that's what we're selling here more than anything. And I think that can be its downfall. Although the treasure, I think, course corrected the spectacle more than the wish. The wish's spectacle felt so, like, bizarrely underutilized, so bizarrely, like, not, like, I don't know, but the treasure story really slapped for me. And I think that's also ultimately, and we can pivot into the successes, I think that's ultimately its biggest success is how cohesive the freaking boat was. You know, I really felt like I was in this sort of tropical, or like, you know, like adventurous sort of outing, you know, like between the Aladdin, the Sarabi, the Moana show, even the Coco dinner. Despite the fact that both of us had terrible seating, the vibe was immaculate. It was so good compared to the Frozen vibe. And I really, really, really loved the cohesiveness of the boat. Like, I just think that that's the one thing it got right, was like, oh, and I think the Destiny is also going to get that right as well.
Oh, really? You think so?
Looking ahead. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Looking ahead. The Destiny, well, because the Destiny has this, like, POC perspective, like this voice of, like, POC Disney fans with the Wakanda Atrium. Yeah. You have the Lion King dinner show. Yeah. You're gonna have Hercules, who will be a black presenting Hercules. Like, you know, you're gonna have. Oh yeah. That's Hercules is written that way now. Like, it's been mounted now a few times, and I can't remember his name. I saw it at the Paper Mill Playhouse when Disney, like, developed it. It's really great. It's fantastic. Really interesting. It's fantastic. So you're going to have all these elements that will bring in a very specific crowd. It is amazing. I think it's awesome that Disney is 100% building this boat to, like, acknowledge and have a place to celebrate that culture. But that said, the treasure feels like white bearded tiki guy culture. You know what I mean? It really feels like trade, like, everyone that you would wait to get onto Trader Sam's at the Polynesian is buying a boat, sailing on this big boat, you know? So, I think it's great. What do you think? What do you think was its biggest success on the treasure?
I mean, the Haunted Mansion bar was fantastic. It's one of the best spaces I think Disney has built in a while.
Truly, they had fun with that. They really had fun.
They did, yeah. I think it's really good. I really liked the Jungle Cruise bar. I think that was good, even though it was very small, and still is kind of in a Dead Mall vibe. I don't know.
It does have a Dead Mall vibe. That's so fascinating because
let me bring up a photo of the Skipper Society, because I completely kind of understand exactly what you mean via this photo. There's something so Dead Mall about this photo.
You know what, Nathan, it's not even that. You have to look around yourself, because to either side of this photo there's, like, white, clean looking modern shops, and in the evening when they're all closed, it's just, everything's just dead around it. Everything's like shuttered around.
They have they have all the premium shopping around this particular area.
It feels like when you're in Vegas and it's a little later in the night and the premium shops have closed, but the bar is still open.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely that. It's the vibe. It's interesting. I have a whole section where I was going to take us through all the different bars and do what I call the vibe check with Jake. So this one does not pass the vibe check. This has the dead mall vibes, and that's so. Oh my! I was trying to figure out what it was, because it does have a food court energy too.
There's some Chili's
food court energy
Chili's
is really good way to describe
element
it.
here.
Yeah.
I gotta go connect to my Boston flight, so I gotta take this to go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is like an
airport bar. It's an airport bar.
Oh
it really
God.
is. It really is. That's so funny, especially because of the open air, like on both sides. It just feels, yeah. Now, the theming of this area was cool, though. I have to say, I loved all the detail, the light fixtures, the little stage that they had. Like, the vibe here was like when you were looking for the details, but when you tried to go here to do anything, be it trivia or learn how to draw or anything like that, it was a nightmare. It was a mess.
They tried to do other things in this space besides just drinking.
This space had something going on every hour on the hour, like nonstop. And then in the evenings, and in the evenings, a band would come and like set up like a little jazz band.
I'm looking at this right now, and this is the first photo I've seen the black drop down ceiling.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I'm out.
Well, the drop ceiling is only there on the other. Once you get past these posts, they have like the fabric canopy of the skipper of the Jungle Cruise boats, and then that connects into where the stage is. Okay. So there and that the bar here is the ceiling is like lifted up, and you have that like the EMS, the EMS Empress.
Yeah.
That photo says EMS. That photo says EMS if you enhance.
Yeah,
it's not HMS. So what does we had this whole debate yesterday with Offhand Disney, Jake. Like, what the hell? HMS stands for His Majesty's Service. Ship. But what is EMS? What does EMS stand for?
Wait, I actually know this. Isn't it I'm pretty sure it's the river that the treasure first navigated down when she was brought out of construction. It's something like that.
Oh, interesting. I
mean, that would make sense.
I love all the deep cuts. I love all the deep cuts.
There's a deep cut somewhere in there about the ship transiting through that river. I'm pretty sure it's that.
Oh, interesting. I guess I'll have to pay $5,000 to go back on.
It's really hard to Google EMS.
Yeah, without finding ambulance services.
Ambulance boats. Just boats with red crosses on them.
Can we switch over
to wait. I got it. This literally does say expeditionary medical ship. So are they?
No, wait, that's it.
Expeditionary medical ship.
Wait, no, expeditionary medical ship.
Expeditionary medical ship. Hey, I'll take it because
I mean because
they got red and white striped canopies like right past where you see the foliage, so it works for me. It's a hospital boat. I mean,
it's got medicine.
I'll take it.
It's got daddy's medicine.
It's got the sauce. Yeah, it's got daddy's sauce on there. Incredible, absolutely incredible. All right, so let's kind of like tour the boat for a second here and talk about it. Let's start with the Aladdin Atrium, which I think is the most stunning thing I have seen on any Disney ship, especially compared to the Wish. The Wish's atrium is this sterile, like it literally feels like speaking of medical services, the Wish atrium feels like a hospital surgical room. Like it's all white and sterile, and like sterile. There's a big bright light, like a dentist light shining down in the middle of it, versus this, which is just magnificent. Oh my gosh.
Well, the Wish's atrium was based on the dentist office in Finding Nemo. I don't know if you know that.
Cinderella's dentist office.
Yeah.
Jake, why is this so good? Why is it like, what is it?
Well, I mean, they definitely improved it. It feels more like a tropical vibe, which I think already enhances the vibe of the entire ship.
Yes, plants.
The Wish
just having plants in the atrium makes such a difference. Even if they're fake, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Look at all of that foliage there versus the atrium, nothing.
Yeah.
In the Wish, nothing.
It's a lot more ornate. There's more going on visually. I think it's a more aesthetically pleasing space, and it's a warmer, darker space, which I think also works to its advantage.
You have this is an interesting color balance because you'll notice it gets lighter the higher it gets up because you can really suffocate people if your colors get darker. Like if you have a huge dark room, it just doesn't feel very big. And they do a really good job here of like working out that color scheme. I can tell.
That was the worry because the concept art for this was really dark. It was really, really dark. And I was worried about how that was actually going to translate with the very few windows that actually provide light inside. But I think this does a great job.
It does. And I think that also like all the ornate sort of like scribe work, like everything you can see through, all the lattice work, and like even you can even kind of peek it, but like the balcony where the characters come out, there are little windows around it, and those windows are mirrors that make the space just look instantly bigger.
Oh,
like
interesting.
little tricks like that I don't remember them being on the Wish at all, really add to it. And then in addition to the fact that like on the Wish, Cinderella is standing on this big piece of marble, and that's it. It's just this white slab of marble, and that's it. And here you have Aladdin and Jasmine floating over a little pond, like they have like glass in there to make it look like water, like full of like, and then that little flower bed wraps around the entire staircase, and at the bottom of like the stage on both sides they have flower beds. It really adds so much texture and warmth and depth. It's so nice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is a great lobby. I think they totally nailed it. Especially when looking over the Wish.
And they use this lobby like to do really fun events. The Jack Jack diaper crawl in the lobby was probably one of the single greatest things I've ever witnessed on Disney property. Just because when a baby crosses the finish line, the crowd goes absolutely bananas. It's like better than a NASCAR race. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But then things like the Jungle Cruise, like where they did the Jungle Cruise like bit with
that's new for the treasure. That was great.
Really great, really, and I think it will only be on the treasure. No way they're going to put that on any of the other boats.
Yeah,
like it just won't fit in. Especially because on the Destiny, the Jungle Cruise is going to be Doctor Strange. That bar will be Doctor Strange, Sanctum Sanctorum. So who knows what bits and bobs will be on the Destiny? But here, the treasure was really, really cool. All right, we talked about the Jungle Cruise Skipper Society. That passes the vibe check, sort of. The Dead Mall vibe check. But now let's talk about the Haunted Mansion Parlor. Here's something interesting, Jake, that we learned canonically. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
You know the Haunted Mansion corridor of doors?
Yes.
This, supposedly, is supposed to be, if you go through one of the doors in the corridor of doors, you step into this parlor. It's kind of like dimensionally attached to the Haunted Mansion to allow the ghosts to freely roam in and out. But like that corridor of doors door that you enter through is like we're like going through the corridor of doors into this detached otherworldly parlor at sea.
Huh. So is it supposed to be themed as a part of the mansion, or is it supposed to be canonically at sea?
So it's related to the sea captain that owned the mansion, right? Because there's lots of lore there. There's a sea captain that owned the mansion and whatnot. This is another sea captain, but he's familiar with the mariner, which it kind of attaches canonically lore wise. And no, this is a parlor in the boat at sea. The sea captain gets killed by his mermaid, his fake mermaid wife, like the sea Constance
real
Hatchaway.
Mermaid, fake human wife.
Fake human wife turns into a mermaid, kills him, and his spirit now ends up haunting the space because of it.
Huh. Okay. You know what? Yeah. My one of my criticisms for this, one of my very few criticisms for the space, or maybe not a criticism, but a suggestion was it would have been cool if they had themed it to after like a Haunted Mansion-esque parlor room of like a yacht or something of the owner. But I think that's interesting. I think if it's
we are on a boat, like we are.
Yeah. So if you're on a boat, my perspective was that you were in the mansion on land, and that didn't make much sense to me. But that kind of answers that.
You portal yourself into a magic area. Now, did you get any of the cocktails in this area? Did you drink at all? Did you vibe at all?
No, actually, I don't think. No,
they
I
had
didn't get any.
some really fun gimmicks and gags here, like a glow in the dark drink, which I thought was
well,
really
we watched
fun.
Michael get one. Yeah. And
Yep.
we saw him.
And
Yep.
I got a little. They and to lean into the tiki, vibe of it all. They have 2 tiki cocktails, which are kind of great with mugs that you can take home. So I did get the Mariner mug, tiki drink. I liked it a lot, honestly. I dug it. I dug this area. It was so well themed. It was almost overwhelming how like good it was, and like it almost felt like a treat. Like I would go in there as a treat for myself, because otherwise, like I didn't want to like. It's just the Haunted Mansion is so precious, and I'm excited that they're going to put this on the Destiny.
Yeah,
they're copying this.
They
right
know
on the Destiny.
how popular it was going to be.
Oh man, and it is. Let me tell you something. There's a line to get in because it opens at 4. There's always a line to get in, and it is always full. And I don't think that's actually a bad thing. It has like this fun swinging wake sort of energy to it. Like there's lots of joy in it. In the room.
My biggest concern when they were first announcing this was that I thought it was going to be a little rollicky, a little too chatty in the bar for it to vibe like the Haunted Mansion. Because the Haunted Mansion you think of as being still and quiet. What was the actual vibe inside of it? I mean, was there enough, like, I guess they did enough activations and stuff that maybe it kind of
the activations void. I feel like maybe Jake I feel like the activations like almost quieted the room at times. Like people wanted to see, they wanted to hear, but separate from that, it's all very iconic music and moments, and it's all the ride audio, so you can hear it through the crowd. It's not like you can instantly pick up on the beats and the moments because you love the attraction.
You didn't find that the how do I put it, the vibe of the guests took away from the vibe of the space.
No, I would say that the moodiness of the waiters maybe took away from it. We had some particularly moody bartenders, but I can't blame them.
Else?
They're
where
literally trapped in a torture device that repeats the same ridiculous music and activations every 30 minutes. True. These guys were going mad.
And then they got to deal with Disney Park fans.
Yeah. They also had specialty Haunted Mansion soda for the kids, which I thought was kind of fun. Yeah. They had 3. You could get like 3 bottles of like a screaming cream soda and stuff like that. So they had spooky drinks for kids.
Screaming cream to drink while you listen to your jizz. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Screaming cream for your. Whoa! This is a rough episode.
What's new?
Let's head over to the Periscope Pub, which I really enjoyed.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
Jake, what was your opinion on this? Because this was like a what was it on the Wish? Like a boat building bar or something weird.
It was, I don't even really know what it was themed. It's called Keg and Compass on the Wish, and it was themed to, I guess, pirates. I don't actually know.
I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't nearly as cool of a vibe as this.
No, not at all. This was really cool. The LED screen, especially on the top, is fantastic, and that whole bar area. I mean, Dan, you got a bunch of detailed shots of like all the gauges and whatnot. Everything had its own little Easter egg, its own little text. It's just all really well done.
I went in when the bar wasn't open, and it's so fun because you can go into these bars. I learned that no door ever really gets locked on this boat. Like they don't lock any doors. So when the bars are closed and you go in there at like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., when the bartender is still sleeping, like you could just go back behind the bar. Everything's locked up, but you can see all the detailing and all the interesting like stuff that they have and like they had like little gauges everywhere that had the most ridiculous sort of meters of things that the gauges were measuring, and all little Easter eggs, all little jokes. So if you get on this, you have to like explore this little room because it is so much fun.
So it's so much fun. This is Nemo adjacent, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. There's a scale model of the Nautilus. On one of the shelves in the room, and one of the gauges has like a captain. One of them's a captain gauge, and it goes from like Captain Sparrow, but it lingers on Captain Nemo. Is like the one in the middle that it like lingers on one of the gauges, and it's cool because you go in there and there's a full ass periscope like right when you walk in. It's not, you can't like look into it, but it's there. It's very tactile, and then that ceiling. Apparently, they recorded a lot of that fish interactions on the sailing. Like to bring it over from Germany. Did you hear about that, Jake?
What? No. What?
Really? They filmed a bunch of these fish on the boat themselves. Like they did this like while the ship was being delivered. What? Apparently. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I read. That's the propaganda I was sold, So But I like the spot. I like the spot a lot. It was great. This was where my rally point was. When like for the beginning, like where you're all like supposed to what's it called? What's the thing? Is it rally? I don't know. Like for like the just in case this boat sinks, this is where you meet. As
You
it's
go
sinking.
here if the boat's sinking.
Yeah, you go here. Yeah. It was good. Okay, how did you feel about the Coco dinner show? Like, how did you feel about Coco in general and the space?
Well, we were put in a very bad place. We were Jenny Nicholson at the very back near the windows that are still.
Me too.
What a verb. What a
not used. Yeah. I also got Jenny Nicholson. I was sat behind a pole as well. It was magnificent. It really enhanced the experience for me, quite honestly. So,
well, not only that though, we had like 17 different tables that were in front of us that were also blocking the view. So we basically saw nothing of the show. We just heard it. Right. And the lighting effects were cool. I thought the space itself was really well designed, aesthetically at least.
Yeah, they should, like, when you're booking, they should like they should let you like put a scale to be like, how interested are you in participating and like seeing things? Because I'm sure plenty of people don't care. I'm sure plenty of people do not care. They're on that boat and they're happy to sit in the back, but not me, baby. I didn't want to sit next to the milk jug wall in the corner. I wanted to sit up front. I wanted to see the action.
Here's the problem, though, Dan. You and I are very different on this. I know this. I do not care for dinner shows at all. I want to talk to my people. Like, I want to talk to the people at my table. I want to talk to my waiters. And every time a waiter would come over and I want to chat with them, something would start up and it would just command the attention of the entire dining room, and I couldn't hear anything.
Absolutely.
It's just,
that's fair.
I feel like I need a Xanax every time I went to this space. It was a lot.
Okay, how do you feel? This is actually, it's interesting you say that. Would you skip dinner shows like this, like Coco, if Marceline Market was open? Like, would you go somewhere else to dine if you had the opportunity? Like, would you skip it? I
would probably skip it. I would skip that and Marvel, or at least the first showing.
So if you had the opportunity, you would eat at 1923 the whole week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Effectively.
But not only that, I would probably pay the Paulo fee to do it 2 or 3 times over it as well.
Well, not on the Treasure, baby. Everyone's got that $50 credit
on
the Treasure. That Paulo gets booked up hard.
Yep.
So what's cool about Coco dinner show is it's a 2-night dinner show because you're on a 7-day sailing. So they don't have to cram the entire movie like they do with Frozen on the Wish into one night. Instead, they can kind of let the space breathe a little bit, and we just get more like vibey mariachi music with Miguel popping up, Miguel and his grumpy grandma popping up occasionally, and they do pop up a lot. Like, to Jake's point, you're just about to start a conversation and suddenly the lights dim and grumpy grandma is back to tell Miguel that he's a piece of shit, or whatever it is. But at its bare minimum, when all that gets removed, it's still a Mexican restaurant. Like, you get chips and salsa, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's guac and there's tacos and burrito. It's comfort food. It's good food. You know what I mean? It is really good. And the second night is the Dia de los Muertos night, because the first night we're preparing for Dia de los Muertos, and then the second night is the Day of the Dead celebration, where Hector and his wife, Miguel's great grandma and grandpa, come to visit him because he messes with the guitar again. Miguel, this kid's the stupidest kid. He's the stupidest kid ever born, this Miguel. It's just intentionally, like, if you were to put him in the room with Indiana Jones and all those cups, he would just drink the first cup he could find. Like, he's just the biggest idiot ever. But what I did like about it,
he is a child that seems to be about 5'7". But
we were 3 years later. We were 3 to 4 years after the movie in this.
Oh,
obviously,
I can tell.
Wait, really?
I can tell.
Yeah. Canonically, we're a couple years later.
Oh, so that's why there's a shrine at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a big boy.
The shrine at the beginning is the ofrenda. Yeah, that's
you gotta say it right, or you're going to offend her.
Yeah, I'm gotta say. You God damn it. But what I thought was cool, and I don't know if you noticed this, Jake, you were sitting back where it actually happened when the undead come out for the second night. They turn on all the black lights and the space transforms, and a lot of the artwork transforms on the walls. Did you notice that?
No.
There were skulls, there were hidden skulls and like fun, like Day of the Dead decorations that only appeared once the undead showed up. Yeah, absolutely. It was really, really cool. So when you're in there, pay attention. All of the waiters dress up like those weird animals, the undead animals in the Coco movie. They all have fun, different like outfits that also ones. That also glow. And there's a weird Dante puppet, like the dog. Like at a certain point, the head server has to bring out and run around the room with the dog puppet, which is kind of hilarious.
Trying to order. He was so busy ordering.
Jake also had a rough service in the Coco dining space.
Yeah.
He was served 45 minutes after everyone else was.
We could see Dan
nights.
and them over on the other side laughing and having a great time with their food. And we're over here like depressed and no food in sight. Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know.
It was so weird. But all in all, I have to say that the space, because you go to Santa Cecilia, and so they have all the little businesses. They have the little bakery that Coco gets Miguel gets his treats at, and the shoe store that Miguel's dad runs, and it was fun. It was fun. Way more fun than Frozen's royal engagement party, dinner party, super engagement, boring. Like it was just, and dark. They just turned all the lights off in Frozen. Yeah. Like it was like a Broadway show. And with Coco, there was more of a vibe. They had all the hanging lights and all like the string lights and the candles, and it was cool. It was very cool. Yeah. I liked Coco. I would give Coco like 2 big thumbs up. Even if you can't see it, even if you get sat behind a pole, it still get chips and salsa, baby. And I love that.
Yeah. I did not know about the Day of the Dead thing with the black lights. I don't know how we missed that at all. That's crazy. You had like a completely different experience with us.
You were sitting in front of that huge mural too, weren't you? Like back by the windows.
Did it change? I don't think it did.
It did change.
I gotta check the footage. I'm checking the footage on this.
He was hungry.
I don't know if I believe you.
It's a special kind of paint called wildfire paint. I used to use it on the Broadway show that I did. It looks like a pastel, plain like white. They look like flat colors until the black light hits them, and then they turn into like crazy colors.
So can you see it when it's normal light on?
Some of it you could see, and then when the light came on, it changed, and some of it was truly hidden. Like above all the windows on the back that they don't use. I don't even know why they build them. I don't know why they put them on the boats. I don't know why we're wasting the glass on the windows in these dining spaces that never get opened. But back there, like there were like really cool skull decorations above each window that only appeared like when.
Maybe I do kind of remember that actually. I gotta check the footage. My memory is not resolving this.
Well, after the flu, the brain fog that you got from the flu. I mean, I
lost many brain cells after the flu.
Oh my God, I lost 3 weeks. I lost 3. I just lost all time. Like only this past weekend, I went to MegaCon and I got like a jolt of adrenaline. Like, did I finally like? Oh gosh, I'm awake now.
I'm still coughing.
Oh, dude, I have a little silence button over here.
So my favorite button.
Wow, Tim's got a fancy desk.
Yeah, baby. I got that fancy Rode. I got that Rodecaster Pro. All right, let's talk about Marvel. Quick note. Were you on an early sailing of the Wish? Did you get to see the giant food?
Of course we did, yeah.
Okay, that's gone. That's gone, apparently, on the Wish and on the Treasure.
So they don't come around afterwards with...
No. Spider-Man accidentally sabotages the Ultron, like the Ultron thing, and then Spider-Man has to come and apologize at the end of the dinner. So they changed it. They changed it for guest satisfaction, because they're like, no one cares about the servers carrying around large food that we can't order and or eat. So they nixed all of that. So the first night of the Treasure is a duplicate of the single night of the Wish Marvel experience. Ultron gets resurrected. They have to fight him.
James Spader or fake James Spader?
Fake James Spader. Fake James Spader, yeah.
Yeah, but real everyone else. All the B team of Marvel from like Miss Marvel.
James Spader, too busy blacklisting.
Yeah, too busy.
No time.
Well, I think it's actually more along the lines of James Spader wasn't present in an MCU studio anytime soon, while the rest of them were actively working and filming, and so
he doesn't live in Atlanta permanently because that's his only job now.
It was probably Ultron was probably Ross Marquand, the guy who did Red Skull. You know, it's probably just that guy, the guy who does all of the MCU villain voices. Now, did you do the second night, Jake? Did you do Marvel Night 2?
Yeah, we did it.
What were your thoughts on the new Cosmic Rewind Marvel dinner? Essentially is what
you know. What I honestly thought it was fine. Where the first dinner show is super in your
aggressive
face and aggressive, it takes the attention of the entire dining room. again, my same problem with Coco is that you can't talk to anyone. Everything is just so overstimulating.
Marvel Knight 2 answers to that. It solves that.
I think it did a great job. I mean, I don't really care about multiple choice. I don't really care about Marvel to begin with, but I think the way they did it was perfectly fine.
Yeah, because in Marvel, and I don't know if it's on that picture you just showed of the Marvel, but every table has like this like PIM reactor core that is interactable.
Yeah, hold on, I'll bring it back.
And you have to use the PIM reactor core during the first night to kill Ultron. It's this big thing. Paul Rudd and anti-vaxxer Evangeline Lilly, they're like, oh man. Yeah, and retired from acting because she's so strongly an anti-vaxxer that no one wants to work with her.
Probably new district secretary of health.
Paul Rudd keeps messing up. We shrink the boat. We make things big. We make things weird. It's very Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. But the second night, that little device, a little lantern thing there. The second night, the screens all turn into like Avengers trivia, like MCU trivia, and you answer using the different colored buttons on the bottom. And so it's this fun, like little interactive, like everyone loves trivia, especially on a cruise ship. So I get it. I see Jake rolling his eyes, but I understand.
No, when you just describe it, it sounds so silly.
Oh yeah, it does sound stupid when I describe everything that I describe sounds stupid in my defense. So, but I love the story because the story begins with Groot, baby Groot, with like a big pile of crap, and Rocket's like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" And Groot's like, "I'm gonna
This is very important. This is very important. Cosmic Rewind Rocket or Bradley Cooper Rocket?
A Cosmic Rewind Rocket. It's not Bradley Cooper. No way. It's Bradley Cooper.
I don't think it was.
No way. It's Bradley.
So it's that really bad.
No, well, it's not. Well, it's very short. Rockets only appears very shortly.
Okay.
It's mostly a Groot thing, and so Groot begins to build this contraption that's going to like honor all the MCU heroes or whatnot. And then Rocket comes back later to discover that Groot has built a bomb instead of an attraction, instead of like a fun little thing.
Build a bomb.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And then he turns it on and it's not a bomb. It's like a fun little projector show of all of Groot's favorite Rocket moments from the MCU. So it's this beautiful little like, and then Rocket starts to cry. It's really cute. It's this lovely little story, but the vibe of the dining space is very like Austin Powers is the only way to describe it. Yeah. It's lava lamps. It's like colorful lights. It's so much fun. It is. It really is fun. It's a much better vibe in that space than what it is when you go to the first night. Austin.
Avengers campus aesthetic.
It's aggressive. It's truly aggressive. It's truly,
aggressive
truly,
is a good word
aggressive.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's aggressive.
No, I think they did a better job in this one.
Yeah, I think so too. The night 2, and I'm interested to see if the Destiny will offer a new Black Panther centric dining experience, or if it will just pivot to. I'm very interested to see what will happen there. I'm interested to see because you have Black Panther in the atrium, you have him on the big statues outside of the dining space, but you don't have Black Panther in the space yet. So maybe we'll see.
I have a feeling it's going to be the same show, but maybe it'll be Black Panther instead of
Spider-Man at the end or something. Yeah. Apparently it's all the same actor, which is hilarious to me. It's the same guy in all those suits because they only have the space for one ripped dude, you know what I mean? to be that guy. So I think that's kind of funny. What about all the other additional bars? I know you loved that one bar up top. I can't even remember what it's called. The Currents. Yeah. What was that your favorite? Was that your favorite bar on the ship?
Well, it's our favorite bar because we had Javon, the best bartender on board. So we spent all of our time
biased.
there.
The bartender made it good for you.
Genuinely the best part of the cruise for us.
This bartender was such a player. He had like ladies in every corner of the boat, and it'd be like, hey, what happens if I mention your name here? It's like, oh, don't talk about me.
We would say, hey, what's going on at Skipper Society? And he would just call up some girl that he knew at Skipper Society, asking what the vibe is there right now.
This guy knew everybody. Yeah. He knew and he'd been with the Disney Cruise Line for a while. Yeah. And it's amazing to hear him kind of like talk about like when the boat first gets done, like how it just gets filled with executives for like a couple sailings, and it's just nothing but executives like trying out the boat, doing the boat over and over again, and whatnot, which is interesting. It's kind of why the Stella Hotel is opened over by Epic, because again, it's just full of executives going into Epic to like check stuff out and do Epic stuff. But it's a fun bar. It's a fun bar. And then they had other places like the Hey Hey coffee shop. They had the Lucky Cricket coffee shop. So they had these like little novelty shops here and there that were uniquely themed. They weren't that on the Wish, were they? They were different on the Wish.
I mean, they were the same spaces, but they were differently
different themes.
themed. Yeah,
different IPs. Different
one
IPs.
was like Cinderella themed. I have no idea what the other one was.
Oh yeah, one was a Gus Gus thing. Like the little statue was like the mice. I do remember that.
Very cute.
Yeah. How did you feel about all the art on the boat? Like, did you get any good like art vibes? There's a lot of theme park art on this boat.
There's a lot of theme park art.
Tiki room concept art, lots of Adventureland concept art, some Pirates concept art, some interesting stuff. I mean, all to fit the theme, obviously. But I really love some of the art selections that they had.
I really like the art too. There was a really rare piece of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea art, which for some reason wasn't near Periscope Pub. I don't understand why.
No.
But that was pretty cool. I mean, they also, like the Dream and Fantasy, and I think the Wish, they had these like LED screens every once in a while. Did you ever see these? They were
let's talk about that. That's interesting you say that, because there's a revolutionary new interactive game that's supposed to like replace like the Muppet like detective agency type of thing that the Treasure was supposed to roll out, but had failed epically during previews. And all of those LED screens were for that. They were for the interactive game that you could play on your app that they completely turned off, and they say won't be turned back on for several months because they can't get the bugs out. They can't get the bugs out.
So is it active on the Wish right now, that AR game?
No. It's not active anywhere, I don't think. No, it's off. I don't even think the Wish had it as an offering. The Treasure
they marketed it with the Wish.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
That's why I'm surprised
maybe
it's not on the Wish, because we're 3 years into this now.
Yeah, I when I was on the Wish, there was no interaction. They had lots of screens, but on the Wish, the screens naturally moved without interaction. Like the screens had like things would like change and like things would happen without somebody standing there with a little app. The Treasure, all of it was turned off. All of the screen interactivity, all of that stuff was turned off in the Treasure. Everything was just static.
So there is like the Muppets was on the Fantasy, and that was supposed to be...
And the Dream, yeah.
Oh, it's on the Dream too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Pepe's got a little room on the Dream.
How interesting. So from what I understood, they added the Muppets on the Fantasy first because that was the 7-night product, and that was supposed to be an extra activity.
Hey, I actually have
people to do.
additional lore. I have additional lore because I'm currently working on a Muppets Lost Media episode for Disney Dan. And so are you familiar with Muppets Ahoy?
No, I'm not.
Muppets Ahoy was an add-on live Muppet entertainment for 7+ night sailings on the Fantasy.
Really?
And it early on, yep. Bill Beretta directed it. It had a lot of live puppets with live voice actors. It wasn't like a thing. Like it was interacting with the audience and whatnot. And then Muppets Ahoy got taken away, and Muppet Detective Agency got brought in, and one of the puzzles, one of the journeys you can go on is the Case of the Missing Musical, which is about the fact that Muppets Ahoy got taken off the boat, and they're trying to find out what happened to their musical. So it was a fun little thing that I just dug up, which I thought was kind of
cool.
Which I thought was really, really cool. So anyway, to go back to Muppet Detective Agency on the Fantasy and the Dream. But that interactive game is just not present. It's not present.
So
I don't know.
Is it ever going to come out? If it's not on the Wish yet, then is it ever going to
It's
fully
called Disney's
release?
Uncharted Adventure. I'm looking here is what the app is called. And it's completely dead. It was completely dead on our boat.
So there's just the infrastructure for a game that will probably never come out, because it was announced September 19th, 2022,
when the ship launched and it did its transatlantic sailing, and then was brought over here for a couple of weeks while executives were on. The game was on. It was working. I was talking to a bunch of On the Treasure. Yep.
Really?
The game was on and working. And then right before the inaugural sailing, it broke and they shut it down, and it's going to be down for a while, is what they said.
Wow.
Which is fascinating to me. Yeah. And if anyone at home has been on the Wish and played it, and it's cool because at night they do like all those spotlights, which I believe are part of it. Like the spotlight that they have at night, because you're supposed to do like sky tracking of like the app is supposed to like involve like the stars and like finding constellations and stars and tracking your location on the boat. So very interesting. You're supposed to make like your own little like me character, like, you know, like Nintendo Me. There was a lot of stuff, but all dead as a doornail.
Wait, okay, Dan. So in that sense, from the concept art that I remember seeing for the Wish, it made it seem like you bring your phone up with the app, whatever, and you go up to the glass slipper that's in the lobby, and you do something, and then it makes a little jingle, or it lights up or something. So I'm wondering, was that the intended purpose for the lantern, or the magic lamp on the Magic Lamp? The Treasure?
Okay, I'm reading here
it has this massive base.
It is on the Wish. It is on the Wish, and it's working on the Wish. It's on the Wish, and it's working. It's just not working on the Treasure.
I've never heard anyone talk about it, so
me
I wonder
either.
if it works well.
It launched in 2022 on the maiden voyage of the Wish, but I guess it is not rolled over. Although I didn't have any like. I don't know. I didn't even see it when I was on the Wish.
We were on the Wish, and they had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah. That's weird. A weird little mystery there.
Yeah.
A weird little mystery. I guess the last thing I have to ask about is like the entertainment. What did you think about the entertainment? And as Jake, as Bright Sun Travel, does the entertainment factor into how you review the boats?
Yeah.
Does it?
I mean,
okay.
It's the whole experience. I think,
sure.
I mean, this cruise has tailor-made entertainment just for the theme, which I really liked. I love the Jungle Cruise thing. What were the two actors that were in a lot of the...
Coriander and Sage.
Coriander and Sage. I mean, they were fantastic.
They were truly fantastic. And they had some nighttime shows like the Dial of Destiny Indiana Jones show.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I told you about that, Nathan, but it's a choose your own adventure that was really, really fun with the audience. Then they also did a lot of like retellings. They called them Tales from the Lamp. They did an improv retelling of Muppet Treasure Island, which was very funny. So cool. The entertainment was very, very like grounded on the boat. But the Moana show, did you get to see it?
I didn't get to see it. They scheduled it on the last day.
It
was on Castaway Day. It was
on Castaway. It was on Castaway Day. What's crazy is, and what really bakes my noodle is that there is not enough seating with the Moana performances for the entire boat to see it. It's like Titanic lifeboat style.
Even with 3 showings though?
With 3, because there's 4,000 guests.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's an 1,100 seat theater.
Yeah.
So with 3 showings, you still don't have enough space for everyone to see. Although my waiter told me that it was 3,800 on our sailing. It wasn't a full 4,000.
We weren't full.
No, we weren't full because of the kids. Like if you think about how like those rooms with the sleepers and like the pull downs, like the rooms can sleep up to 4 and or 5 even. So they have that capacity, but we weren't full. And I could feel it. I could feel that we weren't full with kids. Cabins were sold out, but they weren't full. Yeah, exactly. And I felt that there were no kids on this boat. No. I mean, there were, but there weren't at the same time. Sure. Like the only time you saw them is like when there was a dance party and then all the kids came out of the club or whatever, or dinner. Otherwise, I did not see children on my sailing
It was like the early sailings for the Wish with us. It was a lot of adults, a lot of Disney Cruise Line fans who just wanted to see what the new ship was like.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you go back?
Would I go back on the Treasure?
Yeah.
No. I would never spend the money.
Shots fired.
It's expensive. This is an expensive experience.
It's very expensive.
Disney Cruise Line,
unbelievably expensive.
Since I'm doing this video, I'm doing a lot of research on the market position that Disney puts themselves in, and they're the most expensive cruise category in both the normal mainstream lines and the premium lines. So it's more expensive than Celebrity, more expensive than Virgin. It's hard to justify that. It's, like you said, it was $5,000.
Virgin and Celebrity aren't far behind, though. I just want to say they aren't far behind. The Virgin 18 plus cruises are not cheap. They're not cheap, but they come with a lot of perks. Like they come with a lot of onboard credit. They come with a lot of, like dining credit and drink credits and that kind of stuff, but they aren't cheap. I just want to say.
No, they're not cheap. No, they're still a premium product, but Disney is still
but Disney
the
is
most
still
expensive.
priced up there. Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy because do you do Norwegian or Royal or have you done any of those?
No, you know what? It's a dilemma because Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, they're not at all comparable to the Disney experience, like at all.
No,
not at all.
No.
But they are priced significantly lower, so you get what you pay for, essentially.
Truly, yeah.
It's a difficult. I mean, it comes down to who you are as a person. I think Royal Caribbean, honestly, is more chaotic with kids than Disney is. I think that's a controversial opinion, but I don't know.
No, I completely agree with that. And Norwegian's kind of the same way. I've been on a few Norwegian sailings, and you really, I honestly have to say, you get a lot of that white glove sort of energy of the older Disney ships, but it just doesn't have the entertainment and the theming.
No.
You know what I mean? It just feels like a Marriott, in terms of like a Marriott resort with oh, we got a Mexican place and we got a Japanese place, and you can get pizza over here. Like it is sort of that energy where, but at the same time, they're not bad. Like my Norwegian cruises were not bad in any way, shape or form, but they do lack a lot of the immersive sort of plussed up entertainment. You know what I mean?
But the price that you paid is going to significantly contribute to your perception of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you're only paying $2,200 for a 7-night voyage, then you're gonna be a lot more lenient on the bad stuff that Norwegian has. Disney doesn't really allow that because it's so expensive, and any bad thing is going to feel a lot worse for you. Especially if you're a family of 4. Like we're paying as 2 people, but I mean, if you have a family of 4, you're paying for 2 extra children in a cabin.
It's rough.
You're knocking the door at $10,000.
Yeah. It's Star Wars Halcyon prices at a certain point. Like it gets up there. It really does.
I mean, concierge too, which is just a complete joke. The pricing for the tower suite on our voyage was
insane.
Ridiculous.
So, we didn't even really talk about that here on this podcast, but there is an Epcot tower suite, and at the Currents bar that you sat at quite often, it faced the tower suite windows. So what's wild is that if you get this $65,000 tower suite for your 7-day sailing, the view that you will have for all 7 days is Jake drinking at the Currents bar with Jay
and looking at you in your suite.
Staring at you and looking in the suite to see what was going on. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy that suite has such a terrible view.
Yeah.
Such a concierge has better views than the tower suite. It's wild.
And it's sold out. It's always sold out. People are paying that. Who
is playing Saudi princes? Like what are you guys doing for a living? Like truly, I would want to know. Please write in and let me know so that I could drop everything I'm doing and pursue that career.
Look, you could be rich, but why are you spending it on the tower suite? But do something. The stuff you can do for $50,000. Oh my God.
Truly, the stuff you could do for $50,000. Yeah, man, it's a wild. It's wild. It's wild. The price of that. And for what? For what? You get the same experience as us, but you just have like a slightly more complicated room. Yeah. Like a worse view. Yeah. It's weird. It was really weird. And what I thought was even weirder is that the rooms in the tower suite are like pods, right? Like they're like on the second floor, and they're pods that don't even have their own windows that look out. So you have to like draw a curtain around your whole room inside of the tower suite for the 2 bedrooms. So it's like this strange, it's setup
theme. There's Figment in there.
Yeah, and an Epcot light bulb and stuff. Woo, woo. Oh, for $65,000, you could pay an artist to recreate all 4 of the Epcot items that are in that space, and just enjoy them in your own living room instead of like only getting them for 6 days. It's real wild. It's real wild. Now, I did get you to see Disney Sees the Adventure. How'd you feel about that opening?
It was a cute little show. I think from what I remember someone telling us there's a show that was, or maybe you can remember this better, Dan, but there's the marquee show, the big show on the cruise.
Yep.
And then there's a sort of a jukebox musical type show that's shorter for families.
Yeah, a family. There's a family show. There's something that you give them a family show. You give them something they're familiar with, and you give them a showstopper. And so on the Treasure, that setup was Seize the Adventure, which will be on all Triton ships. Although I don't know if it'll be on the OCL one. We'll have to see if the Oriental Land Company goes that direction. But then on the Treasure, we got Beauty and the Beast, which was an old show. It's an old standby. And on the Wish, you have Aladdin, which was an old show. And then on the Wish, you had Little Mermaid, which was a newly developed showstopper marquee show. And on the Treasure, you had Moana, which was absolutely insane. It was incredible. And I mean, the music is just so powerful because it's Disney. It's a mini Hamilton. It's just Disney's Hamilton, essentially. Yeah. Like all the vibes of it are just a lot of the same, harmonies and chord structures that Lin used in Hamilton. So it just sounds great. It just sounds great to sit there and get hit with that wall of music. I really, really enjoyed the Moana show, but that Seize the Adventure was fun.
I thought Seize the Adventure was perfectly fine.
Perfectly
it's not
fine.
made for me. It's not made for. So what can I even really say?
Okay, can I ask what does Jake want on the boat? What is the show that would be made for Jake? Like, what do we need to get, like a Fast and the Furious musical? Like, what is it? What is like what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Oh, Canada? Do you need to make a Schitt's Creek the musical or something? Just something that's very Canadian actor focused. Like, what does Jake want?
Here's a controversial thing for you, Dan. We were in London recently and we saw Hamilton, and I really enjoyed it, but it's not meant for. I'm not a huge fan of live theater. I think that's what it's come down to. I'm sorry. I know I'm crushing your soul to some degree here.
I see. So if they,
it's just not for me.
Okay, I got it. So let me pitch you something here. Okay, here's an hour for Jake in the theater on the boat. We turn off all the lights. We give you a flashlight, and we just let you urban explore the theater for an hour. How about that?
Be awesome. Hang on.
And we put bed bugs on one seat, and you got to find them. Yeah. He would.
He would. 1980s Virgin Cruise boat left over.
It's been run ashore. Yeah, exactly. What is your favorite crash cruise ship, may I ask? Because you've covered quite a few
crashed cruise ship. What?
That is not a crazy question to ask you, sir.
Britannica.
You have at least four videos on Bright Sun Films about crashed cruise ships. So I don't want to hear that confused tone of your voice.
I've just never heard anyone say crashed cruise ships.
Yeah, Dan, cars crash, boats sink.
Yeah, well, boats crash.
I guess so. I don't know if that's the technical
had no
term,
cruise control.
The Concordia was pretty cool. The World Discoverer, that's got some cool crashing to it.
Yeah, which was the one where the captain was all coked up and jumped off the ship immediately?
That's the Coast Concordia.
That's the best. There you go.
The one Italian captain. Yeah.
Boy, that guy was a real champ. That guy was a real champ.
Yeah.
So is that your favorite? Is that your favorite, the Concordia?
Favorite is a strange question for tragedies, but
are you more of a Hindenburg guy, or
did people die on the Concordia? Yeah,
36 people died.
Jeez, Jake, you can't be saying that's your favorite boat crash if the people
are
were dying on it.
There's not many cruise disasters where people haven't died.
Okay, yeah, I guess. So there, okay. What about the McDonald's boat? Did anyone die on that thing?
No, the McDonald's boat's still floating in Vancouver.
Is it? Have you visited it?
Yeah, we visited. We went.
Did you hop on it? Did you urban explore it?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of just an empty.
Don't quotation
now.
mark me, urban explorer, sir. Don't give me that, sir, Mister
Urban
Urban
Explorer. Everyone in the comments would disagree with me exploring that barge.
What would they say? They're like, this is too boring.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just want to know if it still smells like French fries, McDonald's French fries, because they haven't made McDonald's French fries in Restaurantosaurus in Animal Kingdom in 15 years, and yet it still smells like a McDonald's in there. So I have to wonder, does the McBarge still smell like fry oil?
It doesn't, but you're now reminding me that Restaurantosaurus served McDonald's, which is crazy.
pterodactyl fries or whatever, fryadactyl or whatever. I can't remember.
Wait, they actually changed the name of them?
Yeah. McDonald's had like a sit-in, had like a sitsprobe in.
I don't think it's called a sit-in.
I think they did. I think that's what it is. I think it was McDonald's.
There was a protest. We're going to Restaurantosaurus.
Yeah,
we don't believe in
McDonald's
this war
fries.
in Vietnam anymore. We're taking a sit-in.
There was one other place that had McDonald's fries. You know where it was, Nathan? I can't remember. There are two locations that serve.
Oh,
Mickey
it was.
D fries.
Wasn't it a stand in Magic Kingdom?
Yeah. Where they have the waffle fries and nuggets. Yeah. Right by Splash Mountain.
You asked me that question, and my first response was Richie Rich's house. That's...
Richie Rich's house. Oh man, Jake, did you have Richie Rich in Canada?
Yeah, we had Richie Rich.
Macaulay Culkin's Richie Rich.
Yeah,
starring Night Court's John Larroquette.
Yeah, that kid had a fully operational McDonald's in his bedroom.
It was the coolest thing in the world.
What was the operation costs of that? Must have been insane. Must have been truly insane. So good. I can't wait for the next episode of Abandoned. Macaulay McClunky. Macaulay McClunky's McDonald's in his bedroom. That's incredible. Jake, before we get into fun and tell, is what is other than this treasure for Bright Sun Travels, what about Bright Sun Films? What's been canceled? What's been abandoned? What's next? And also, in case you're not putting out videos, don't worry. A dozen YouTubers have stolen the idea of just slapping abandoned very large on a thumbnail and acting like it's your video. But none of them start with "What's up, guys?"
It's true. So, no one will have the impeccable charm and quality that
absolutely not. Absolutely not. But what's brewing? What's brewing there over there with your abandoned?
Well, we have Party City that recently went bankrupt, so we're
you got to dive into that, huh?
Yeah.
My one buddy's trying to buy the entire brand, so that'll be interesting.
The entire brand?
I wonder.
I wonder who. I mean, it's just on the table. A bunch of them are. Everyone. There's a big auction that just happened.
Rob, Kevin, all your buddies are interested.
All my buddies. You'd be surprised, man. So you're gonna dig into Party City, huh?
Digging into Party City, and I also have an update on River Country coming out.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah.
What is there to update?
Well, the Reflections Resort, it's not called Reflections anymore. It's called Disney's Lakeshore Resort.
I think it's called
the new resort at Fort Wilderness is being built on top of
the Triple Tree.
Yeah,
Disney's Triple Tree.
Quadruple Tree.
Oh, so you're covering? Has they broken ground? Has it started?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're fully vertical on the structure now.
Mm-hmm. Fully vertical.
Fully vertical, Dan.
That's my stage name. That's interesting. You brought that up.
That's your jizz. That's your jizz.
Yeah, that's my jizz band. My jizz band. Fully welcome to the Fully Verticals. This is gonna get demonetized.
Good.
That's great. That's great.
Good.
Great.
It's bad content. Good.
When you're going down the rabbit hole of Party City, what is it that you're looking for in terms of like the signs that the business was doomed? Because a lot of people felt like it came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like no one was expecting Party City to just be like, all right, we're done. Next month we're done. I don't think so. I mean, if you think about it, Party City, especially for families, is like this like last minute like integral part of having birthdays. You know what I mean? That you're running in there, you're always using it, and it's suddenly like overnight was just like, well, we're out of here. What are you looking for when you're tracking like that history?
Oh, I just started digging into it, but there's usually two things. First thing it was acquired by a private equity company, which is never a good sign.
Interesting. Did that happen to Party City?
I think so, actually. But they were acquired quite a while ago, and I think the private equity company was kind of just letting them do their own thing.
So it was like a quiet thing. It wasn't like an emergency thing. It was like some kind of like merger kind of like...
Not even that. You know what? I think during the pandemic, the price of helium had actually increased quite a bit. And a lot of their profit margins came from balloons, believe it or not. So I believe. Do more research, but I
2005,
think
it was bought by private equity firms Berkshire Partners and Weston Presidio.
In 2005?
Yeah.
They
owned the party supply manufacturer.
That's when I graduated high school.
Scan.
So that's why I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Interesting. So helium. Well, no,
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I had two people when I said that Party City was gone. Two different people were like, well, where the hell am I going to get balloons now? Because 100% they were the balloon place. They really were the balloon place. So that's interesting. All right. So you look for a private equity firm acquisition. And what's the other thing?
Private equity. And usually it's, I guess, Nathan, you talked about mergers. That's usually a telltale sign. Yeah. It's never like one thing. It's companies don't die for one particular reason. They get lost in the mix of the modern market, and usually companies that do go bankrupt, they can't adapt quick enough, and
they get bled out essentially.
And they get bled out. Yeah, it's companies that have been run by the same person for the last 25 years, and eventually that person stops innovating, and the company, loses track of time. And then it's just other companies too, like Sears or JCPenney. Like those are brands that are just going to dwindle away no matter what, because they are such a legacy brand that isn't as relevant anymore.
Right. I guess Party City fell victim to that in a lot of ways, being that legacy brand that sort of became irrelevant, because in a lot of ways, people are also just getting all their stuff on Amazon now. You know what I mean? Like their tchotchkes, their cheap stuff, their Valentines, their party favors.
But you can't do that with balloons. So I'm actually curious on how that happened. I don't know.
I mean, Spirit
balloons
is an event. You go to Spirit as an event, and I think that Party City didn't have an event feel to go to. It was
actually
warehouse.
Party City was the weakest, I would imagine. I could tell you Party City was the weakest, especially going up Halloween costumes.com, Spirit, like those two they blitzed the market, every year with tons of marketing and tons of entertainment, entertaining unique stuff.
There wasn't
and Party
City exclusives.
No, and Party City, well, they did make all their own costumes. They make all their own stuff.
Oh,
Party
really?
City actually had their own wholesale distribution. They have their own pipeline, but they didn't dabble in things like animatronics and like big decor, like the big ticket items that bring people in the door. It always just continued to be Party City. So can't wait for that video, buddy. I can't wait to see what weird stuff you dig up the Party City.
Yeah. I think you're right though, because it's a lot of retail now is based on experience, and Spirit Halloween definitely nailed that in the sense that they had props and whatnot. And they had a large space too to play around with and have people.
Well, I'm very interested to see how many empty Party Cities become Spirit Halloweens this this October.
That's actually a really good point too. Yeah. Unless they're bought by you, of course.
Right. Well, me and my buddies, we're eyeing it. We're eyeing up Party City.
The trifecta of Disney YouTubers take over Party City. Nobody saw it coming.
You could get in on it too. Get on the ground floor.
Yeah, sure.
There's one a block from my house. So if I would love a studio space. So,
is it still there?
It's going out of business. Yeah,
but I mean, is it still? Can you still go in there? Because the one next to me is done.
I don't know about today. It was at 70-80% off.
Whoa! So, you got to get in there.
I got myself $3.
Jake, you need me to roll in there, get some B-roll for you? You need me to go in there do a dead Party City?
Hurt, Dan, honestly.
All right, I'll see what I can do, buddy. I'll see what I can do. Okay. Do they have Party City up in Canada?
You know what? We do, and it's actually staying open.
Really?
Yeah. So our Party City is a different company, and they're staying around. So great B-roll for me, actually.
Yeah, there you go. You can have a good comparison, A versus B of the. That's A roll. When the stores are still open, it's A roll. But when the stores are closed, it's B roll. So
that's what I teach my students. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, at the end of every episode, we do a little thing called Fun and Tell. We talk about some fun things we're doing. We're going to do. It doesn't have to be relevant to the Wish or Party City or anything, or the Treasure. For me, I'm about to go see a new Marvel movie for the first time in a hot minute. Captain America. I can't wait to see Red Harrison Ford beat up things. And I'm hoping for cameos. I'm hoping for, oh yeah. I want to see aging, crashing planes left and right. Harrison Ford turn into a crazy Hulk and try to kill a black guy. Isn't that the plot of the movie? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, you're right.
And also, can I just say how incredibly cringy and exhausting it is to see every interview with Sam, like the Sam Wilson, every Sam Wilson interview is like, hey, when are they going to bring Chris Evans back? It's like, Jesus, guys, this is his
Anthony
movie.
Mackie.
This is his Anthony Mackie. There you go. Stop
well,
asking Anthony Mackie about Chris
so
Evans.
The reason
Stop
they keep
it.
asking is
Stop.
because you said his character name and not Chris
Well,
Evans.
there you go.
That's, I mean,
Well,
nobody.
I also have a mental disease where I can't
That's
remember
true.
anything, so
That's
my
true.
defense. So I'm slowly
the
slipping away. I'm dying. I'm
well,
dying
we're also
every
talking.
day.
We're also
slowly.
talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so it's not a surprise.
Jake, are you drinking water out of a flower vase? What is going on over here?
Yeah, it's Emmy got me this. It's a large bottle of water. You saw through this podcast, I switched from tea to my large bottle of water. I'm just so thirsty.
A bottle of water. No, I think you threw a dozen roses out of that thing and started drinking the water.
If I did, Dan, are you judging me? Am I doing the wrong thing?
No, it's just you
I'm
guys do
being
weird stuff up
hydrated.
there in Canada. You're
I saw
doing
you
weird
with
stuff.
your big
With my
water
big
jug.
what? Nathan, what are you doing for fun, buddy?
Two things actually. Thing one, last night I went and saw Companion with Jake Quaid or Jack Quaid and a couple other people. Harvey Guillon from What We Do in the Shadows, a couple other people. Anyway, I can't tell you what the movie's about because that's all a surprise. It's very, very fun. They sort of marketed it as a horror movie. It is not a horror movie, truly. It's a very interesting sort of plot, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Horror
very much
adjacent
worth your time.
though?
Huh?
Spooky horror adjacent?
Not spooky.
Ooh, I like that.
It's
I like that because I just saw
it's not jump
Nosferatu.
scary. It's
spooky.
not jump scary.
Spooky.
Oh, is it
Spooky.
Which one?
Nosferatu.
Oh yeah. That's like slow
Very
spooky. That's like I like
Slow
that, though.
spooky.
I
Slow
like a
spooky.
slow spooky.
Yeah. A slow spooky.
And the other thing is, now that I'm thinking about, found absolutely was a beloved game for me growing up, and it sort of ties in to the theme. Is Titanic Adventure Out of Time, which was a PC game, which was sort of Myst adjacent, where you would go around and speak to people, and the idea is that depending on how many different goals you completed, you could stop certain things in history. Like, so if you saved a painting that was on board, you find out later it was Hitler's painting, and that painting goes for a ton of money because it was on the Titanic, and then Hitler doesn't do World War II. So there's all these weird little like timey-wimey bits. It's very old. It's from 1995. It was part of the Star Wars, the Titanic exhibition that was huge in the 90s.
I went to it.
Yeah,
I put my hand on a giant piece of ice.
Yeah, I did it in the Glass Pyramid in Tennessee, which is it's pretty incredible. Now it's like
America's Louvre, if you will.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
Glass Pyramid in Tennessee? What's that?
It's America's Louvre. You leave it alone.
Yeah,
all right.
It was a convention center for a very long
What's
time.
what's it actually called?
It's
America's
called the Glass Pyramid.
Louvre.
It's
I
not
told
America's.
It's now I think the world. I think it actually legitimately is.
Wait, the Memphis Pyramid? The Bass Pro Shop?
Yeah.
Nathan, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's where I saw the Titanic exhibition. The exhibition back in the day.
Wait, when? How long ago?
It wasn't always a Bass Pro Shop.
95, something like that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, did they not have Titanic
Wait,
in Canada in the
okay.
90s when it came out?
Nathan has just unlocked the most interesting lore I think I've ever. So in Vegas, I went to the Luxor Resort, the Glass Pyramid.
Okay. Yeah.
And in there's a large model of the Titanic that was made by the same guy who made my Disney Fantasy model in my office here, Maritime Replicas. And on it, it said something about where it had originally been built, which it said Tennessee, but I tried looking at it and I could never find what exhibit that was in.
It's probably that.
But I heard someone told me that it was in a different glass pyramid than the Luxor. And I was like,
Yeah,
there's
America's
no way it was
Louvre, Jake. America's Louvre.
There's
Dan,
no
stop
way
calling it
was-
America's
It used to
Louvre.
be in the Bass Pro Shop pyramid because I had also done a video on that. And now you're telling me it was. So
Yes.
I can't believe this.
100%.
That model has been in two different massive pyramids in America.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, America's Louvre and the Luxor. It's amazing.
America's
like a
Louvre.
legit. This is like a legit exhibition too. It wasn't like that weird sort of. I don't know. You go to like next to Dollywood. You know how there's like five of those around.
Yeah.
That are
Well, that's that's Titanic Dinner Theater. That's different. That's
well,
not. That's like
this is like where they're like we have replicas of stuff. This was like legit.
Yeah, it was a
stuff.
touring expedition though, wasn't it? It
Yes,
wasn't.
yeah.
It was. Yeah. Because I
And-
did it at the Smithsonian.
One of the big things about it was this video game, because there was a whole area in this video game where you could just, instead of play the game, just tour the ship.
Kill people. Oh, I see.
No, you could mod it now. We could play Fortnite on the Titanic.
GTA on the
Yeah.
Titanic.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's still available. If you go right now on Steam, you can buy it for $1.50.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And tour the Titanic in the 90s. That's
yes.
cool. That's
Pretty
cool.
great.
That's
So
cool.
Those are my two things.
What about you, Jake? What are you doing for fun, buddy?
What am I doing for fun? Well, I got back from, we got off the cruise. We were going to film a different hotel in Florida, and we never did because
Canceled that.
we started getting sick. And then the day we got sick, from Dan, mind you, this is all because of Dan's. This is all Dan's
That's
fault.
not. No. Hold on. Hard pivot there. It's not my fault here, sir. We all
Well-
got sick. Just because I have a weak
I
immune
was
system and it
washing
hit me
my hands,
harder.
Dan.
So was I, buddy. Then I was licking everything, but I washed my hands. In those things, they have like Iron Man things on the boat that you like put them in and it washes your hands for you. It's wild.
The kids' clubs.
Yeah, the kids clubs. I loved them.
So
I wish they
every
had it for
time you
adults.
needed to wash your hands, you would specifically go down to the kids' club just to do that.
Yep. And then I let kids sneeze on them after I got them clean, and I was like, perfect.
So that explains a lot then. So
Yep.
we got back on February 27th, and I have been sick ever since. And when I haven't been sick, I've been working on this treasure video. So I've done absolutely nothing since we got back from our Florida trip.
Okay, great. Well, that's
now, I
good.
will say, we have a documentary coming out that I'm executive producing that also features Mr. Dan over here.
I'm in it.
Stolen Kingdom.
I just say funny things. I really don't have any meat in the episode, in the movie. I'm just a
Dan,
clown.
Don't say that. You have plenty of meat in the episode.
You say I have a good line though. What's my line? I have a good line about
Buzzy. You're like, I don't know. How did he do it? I'm a big man. I don't think Patrick Spikes could put me in a duffel bag and carry me out of Wonders of Life.
And by the way, he's back on Twitter.
Oh, he's back.
In like a great return, which is so funny.
The heroic return.
He's got a documentary to promote.
Literally.
Yeah, except he doesn't have any points, baby. I don't know what he's promoting. He's not benefiting from this at all.
Patrick Spike's always promoting Spike's Industries.
When does it premiere, Jake? When does it come out? When does it premiere at the festival?
It's premiering it's actually premiering officially at Big Sky Film Festival. I don't know the dates, but I do know it will be doing a second premiere in Los Angeles on February 23rd and the 24th at Slam. And I will be there for both of them. So
nice. So if you want to get a selfie with Jake, head on down.
True. First showing is
there.
sold out, but the 24th is still open if you want to make it out.
Nice. Oh, you don't like get a ticket to the festival and then get to see movies? You have to buy tickets to movies in addition?
I don't know how this one works particularly. I'm only there for the showings. I'm in LA for a very short time. But I think you have to do it specifically for the showings.
Stolen Kingdom. Check it out. It's
Stolen
cool.
Kingdom.
I watched it. It's great. I had a good time.
Oh,
I had
good.
a good time
I'm
watching
glad you liked it.
And not to mention Kenny, my editor, is in it quite a bit. He's in it more than me. He's more famous than me in this stuff.
Yeah, Kenny's in the trailer. I think you're in the trailer too. I can't remember.
Oh, I'm in the trailer. I'm just saying that, like, in terms of screen time, you know what I mean? I'm Hannibal Lecter, and he's Jodie Foster, is all I'm saying.
Kenny has some great lines too.
You win the
you
award.
both did such a great job.
I do win I always win the award, baby. That's the truth. That's the truth. You can take that to the bank and cash it.
Dan's here to win.
Well, this has been great, Jake. Thanks for talking to me about the treasure. I always enjoy chatting with you. This has been a blast. It was so great sailing with you, and I hope to book a Destiny sailing with you as well. Because
the clock's ticking, Dan. I expect you to be on the Destiny.
I will. I'm gonna try to get on and I'm gonna bring my girlfriend this time. So I have so we can double date because you had your girlfriend on the boat too. So we can double date in a restaurant that we can't see anything, sitting behind poles that we get served 45 minutes after everyone else. It's gonna be great.
But it'll be Lion King theme this time. So
yeah, well, I'm gonna dress as Mufasa for the entire dinner. So get ready for that. So. Me dressed as Rafiki at Sarabi for the silent DJ. What was the thing? They had like a silent DJ night, and I arrive dressed as Rafiki to the silent DJ. They flip it over to the Circle of Life song, and then one of the cast members like brings me a pair of headphones, and I hold it up like Simba, and everyone starts cheering. It was an incredible moment. I have some great I have some great moments for my treasure video. I got to get it out quick though. When's your treasure coming out? The 21st? Theoretically,
yeah, no, it's 100% coming out on the 21st.
100%?
100%.
That you're talking, that's a man who's got about 70% of the video locked in already. Is that true?
No, the video is finished.
Oh, okay. Video's finished.
Yeah.
Are you editing everything yourself these days?
Yeah,
or do you have some editors?
This is fun industry talk that everyone wants to listen to.
Right? You all want to know about this.
People want to know. People watch Vulture and stuff. They want to know how the industry works.
What?
And Variety and, the
Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah, there
people
you go.
known for watching Variety.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a crazy person. This has been a great episode. Thanks for watching. Go watch Jake. He's great. He doesn't need your views. I do. Come watch my stuff. He's got a huge audience. He's fine. He's doing great. Meanwhile, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch your treasure review. I can't wait for. Am I in it? Do I have weird cameos?
Oh, of course. Oh my god.
Amazing. Yeah. I was always dressed up and jumping in front of Jake's camera.
There's a great shot of you in the Sarabi, the hot club, Dan just dancing by himself in a costume. No, you weren't in a costume, but
a Mufasa head. I think I was wearing a Mufasa head. I think.
And no, weirdly, you put karaoke. Twin Peaks music to it.
Oh, yeah.
It worked out really well.
Well, this has been great. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. The podcast is over now. Go home.
This has been a production of 710 Media.